about these things is the critical fundamentals of frost management, which is, we said, orientation, south facing in terms of your land. We also mentioned your soils being actually, most soils actually remitting heat and everything. So basically, soil becomes a pivotal role in whatever you're going to do, because I always mention it, you don't grow your plants, you grow the soil. So once you actually get the soil correct, it means frost management, you're actually going to be in a better state. So you need your soils to be warm. Are you going also to retain or to make sure that your soils are going to be warm? So you said you're going to what? Keep them wet, confirm. So fine, that's a good one. When you're going to talk about organic matter, let's talk about mulch. If you're going to mulch, this is where a lot of farmers get it all wrong. They think and they believe mulch is there to suppress weeds. But what's the critical role of mulch? Mulch is there to trap heat. Once you trap heat, it means then that the plant is actually going to have more heat being emitted when it's actually cold. Is it making sense? Mulch is there to trap heat. We are going to talk about mulch later, looking at the Brix concept, because the moment you trap heat, heat is actually going then to be emitted back to the plant, and the plant is actually going to have a higher Brix content. Mulch, this is how I explain this. If you do not know how to put a plant on the charger, stop farming. It's not for you. Yes, you came here looking for the charger. You wanted to put your phone on the charger. Then the plant is actually doing everything. Photo, it means light. Synthesis, it means building up. So the plant, the temperatures are going to drop. It's going to be cold. And it's going to be cold. How then, but the plant, each and every plant, it needs the light. How then are you going to actually put the plant on the charger and actually make sure that it's got the energy that's required to fight frost? Is it making sense? Huh? The plant on the charger, yes. Because the moment you do not know how to do it, you are toast. You are not going to survive in this business. You are not going to, the plants are not going to last. So the moment your soil is covered, it's not mulched, everything is going to die natural. Because you are not covering the soil, you are not trapping the heat. And remember, once you're not covering the soil, your soils are actually going to be the opposite of moist, dry. And dry soils are going, we say dry soils, they are prone to frost. Simple like that. Another interesting aspect, if you are going to go whatever you go, these are simple concepts. Look, like I said, every training we can understand, we can learn. But at the end of the day, where is the money? How much money do you need to set up all this? What I've just said, and someone actually going to say, I'm looking for a blanket fleece, I'm looking for this because frost is going to come, and I'm looking for that, and I'm looking for that. How much is this? These are the basics. 9 out of 10 farmers then cry foul. I've been hit by frost, I've been hit by what and what have you. But when you were walking in, you could see the piece of land that you're actually buying. You could see the type of soils that you're actually going to have. You could actually see the way you're orienting your farm. You could actually see whether you're going to have mulch closer to you so that you can mulch everything. And it's a fallacy, it's a lie. People say you can't mulch 2 hectares, 3 hectares, 4 hectares, 5 hectares. It's all a lie. I've done it. You can do it. It's so simple.
On that, is plastic mulch as effective as the grass mulch?
Okay, fine. It's a good question. So plastic mulch is good in terms of you're trapping your heat. That is good. That is fine. The only challenge then comes with the natural organic mulch is actually going to decompose and it's going to add more humus to the soil. So it's going to improve your soil. Plastic mulch is not going to improve your soil because it's not going to decompose. It's trapping the heat. It's still fine. It's okay. But then it's not going to decompose. It's not going to actually put your humus into the soil. So it's not going to change the prismatic structure, so to speak, of your soil to make it actually a good soil structure, which is actually going to retain moisture.
Okay.
Does it add up?
Like it's a short term.
Yes, it is a short term. Yes, it is because they actually, if we cut straw, grass, rye, different things, we mulch with that, it's actually going to decompose, it's actually going to aid, and it's actually going to trap all that heat. And the danger sometimes with the plastic mulch is if the cold gets to the plastic in contact with the plant, it transmits the whole thing, then the plant might actually rupture. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Huh? These are simple, easy techniques of managing frost well before. Do it now and later there won't be any problem. But here's the thing now. We're trying to say there are certain areas, microclimate areas, where you're actually going to have, I think there's, obviously you understand, there's Marondera watershed, there's Nyabira, even there in Rua, it's kind of microclimate weather. I don't know. You understand what is a microclimate weather? Confirm?
No.
No. Fine. Anyone who can explain?
Okay.
Is it like an island?
Yes. So what they did is, because of food security in the country, back then they had this. They actually set up climates where you know whether it's going to be too hot, the area is actually going to be too cold. It's going to receive enough rainfall. It's going to receive everything. Just like if you go into beaches and everything, when people are saying, "Hey, there's drought and what have you," it's a microclimate. You always receive good rains. Nyabira. Same applies to Marondera, thereabout. Even the soil is actually good. The whole idea is, even if you have a drought, these areas a microclimate area, so to speak. Stretch for the actually top drawer. I don't know if you. Hi, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
Please, you're supposed to be with us, huh?
Yeah.
Please take a seat. So now you understand microclimates, huh? So if you see these microclimates are actually there. So when you're actually going to do with a plastic mulch, and you are going to do with a mulch which is different to manage frost, it means you are going to benefit more because you are also protecting the soil in a way that it's going to decompose. The microorganisms inside the soil are actually also going to be the support mechanisms for the plant. Does it add up?
Can I ask?
Surely.
On mulching, assuming we did that using grass, the idea you said shaping it.
Yes.
Doesn't it give shade to the sunlight? How does it?
The leaves are actually doing everything.
We were talking of temperature, ground temperature.
So it's fine. So ground temperature, you want it moist, don't you?
Yeah.
Now I'm going to go ahead in my presentation. Okay, let me sort it this way. What I'm going to say now is something that you need to understand. How can you predict that frost is coming? If you are gifted like me, I understand that plants are living organisms and plants can actually predict that a storm is coming, frost is coming. Do you know that? Huh? Apa makudzidza manje apa.
Only animals.
Sorry?
Plants predicting.
Yes. No. Plants are living organisms. Plants can actually prepare that there's a storm coming. Kuchatonora, plants can actually prepare. That is why people are selling these amino acids, saying plant-based and what have you, because it's been extracted while the plant had actually released those hormones to try to prepare for frost.
Okay.
Kids agriculture, I won't lie to you. I'm telling you. What we do is we sit, we look, and we observe. And we actually see the pattern, and we actually see what's happening. And then we actually know that it's coming. Guys, it's coming. It's coming. But how do you see? I want to answer your question. I'm coming there. How then can you as a human being know that it's actually going to be very cold tomorrow?
Can you see clear sky?
From the plant.
Is a human being.
Well done.
Clear sky.
Well done. He said you can see clear sky. Explain.
Actually, I wanted it always hottest before it's cold.
No, explain the clear sky. Because me, he's got the answer. He's got the answer. I just want him to explain the science aspect behind now. We can even walk out there and we can even try to see. Explain now.
Can I give
Go ahead. I try.
this guy? I'm gonna experience my tomatoes could overshadow. But not last year. I was actually arguing with him. That I'm not very time in a row. My tomatoes. Sky and clear man here. So he is the one who I told you it is clear. Let's burn today. But I cannot put it overcast. I don't have roll. Maybe the scientific explanation they would heat and escape it.
Now we are
Because
talking.
of the cloud.
Clear sky.
I thought it was
Now talk. Put mulch. Put the mulch. It's the mulch. The clouds are actually trapping the what? Guys, clap hands for me. Guys, I won't lie to you. It gets so interesting. This is science now. This is why I actually highly value these fishermen guys when they're actually when they tell you that we won't catch any fish, this and that, and what have you. You want to predict that it's actually going to be cold tomorrow. There'll be many stars in the sky. The sky will be empty, okay? it will be, there won't be actually no clouds, nothing, but so it gives you a 50% chance. It's 30 to 50. But then when you even go out in the evening and then you see that there are more stars, just know this is it. We're going to wake up. We're going to actually wake up 3 a.m. We're going to make the soil moist. Defense mechanism 1. Defense mechanism 2 is our mulch ready and everything. If it's ready, then it's fine. Defense mechanism 3, what I was just saying. We are going to take the dung and we're going to put the dung on the plants. But here's the thing with the dung concept. It's when you're growing plants frost-wise and everything, when you're using dung, it's a process we call thermophilic composting. Thermophilic, it's simple. It means this. I know mese makambona pani chicken litter nditi panounganzwa matoto ehuku and what have you. So sorry? There's a heat that is actually emitting. So the Fahrenheit actually goes high up to 55, 60 degrees Celsius. It gets so heat. It gets so hot, so to speak. Even if you to come close, you actually feel the heat. What's happening there is because of the high nitrogen, it's actually burning and it's killing the pathogens. So instead, if you've got your good thermometer, you just plug it in. This is where people all get it wrong. You don't attempt making a compost without a thermometer. That's a pedestrian approach to farming. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Because this is where the catch is. The temperatures are going to drop around 28, 32. There are certain actually plants that's going to tolerate frost, like the carrots, and they actually become tastier. They actually become sweet because the code is actually, it's going in because of their root-based crops, confirm. So with these now, you're going to need to take the cup of that warm soil or warm organic matter, which is composting and what have you, you're going to put cup, because it's already like a heater that you're actually inserting per plant. Is it making sense? Is it making sense? You see, so the moment it hits 60, I know pathogens are dead. I'm not a fan of someone saying that I use cow manure, cattle manure, organic. I've had 9 out of 10 people saying, I use cow manure, I use organic, I use rabbit manure, so what I'm growing is organic. To open hell, that's not organic. I don't know what you're doing there. It can only be organic if it's 180 days old. Moreover, it can only then release the nutrients that are fit for your crops if it's 180 days old. You guys, you open your trenches, you put your mafudze, whatever, you do this and everything, and then you assume that the plant is actually going to get all the nutrients from there. It's going to get those nutrients after 6 months. And by then, you'll be just having this crazy crop. So you need, this is why I say people are actually conned. They are scammed because they don't know. You walk into a farmer, you say, I need to buy cow dung. The farmer will say, there's the cow dung, give them the cow dung, $1. And you're buying the fresh cow dung. What are you doing for $1? That's robbery. You need to actually buy the old dung on that piece of land. That is the one that's going to work for you. That is the one that is actually doesn't have any pathogens. What you're simply then doing is you're taking diseases from there and you're going to put them in your field. Moreover, it's going to affect the frost because the organic matter is not yet ready for it. But if you are doing your own compost, so we say the semi-composted, that's when you can take it, you put it in your field. Frost will not actually attempt. The last one, but interesting one, it all comes down to Brix. This is water. This is mazoe. Put this in the fridge. The two. Which one will freeze quicker, faster between the two?
The water.
Why the water? To attack it. So instead, you're supposed to actually raise the sugar levels for your plants. The moment you raise your sugar levels for your plant, then your plant is actually going to fight the frost. Because the plant on itself is going to release the amino acids, the chemicals, to try to fight frost. Nothing which is living wants just to die, just to wake up. Do you get what I'm trying to say? You try by all. People then don't understand how to actually raise the levels of the plant. And then when frost comes, they'll be just like, my plants, I lost my plants because of frost and everything and what have you. There are other fundamentals that you actually need to understand that you don't do towards this period, towards this time. You should well understand that you don't prune your plants now when you're now going into the frost period. You don't. It's playing with fire. Yes. So you need to put your ducks in a row. Well in time, you need to understand the critical point of influence of a plant, and when you're actually going to move in the winter season, you're supposed to have done all those things well before the winter season, such that in that period, because it's like you're injuring the plant, and it's going to be weak in terms of the immune system on its own, while you prune and everything, and then the cold is just going to come as well. Is it making sense? But
So it will be using energy to heal.
you see now. So it's where you're just trying to say, well, you need to channel everything in one position. You need to make sure that you're not going to lose energy, you're not going to prune, you're just going to focus on actually increasing the sugar content in the plant, the mulch in the plant. Raise your beds always, because eventually you then realize even if you raise your beds now, they're going actually to drop because the humus is being utilized by the plant. Is it making sense?
Excuse me, what's the effect of raising the beds?
Anyone who can explain?
How does it help protecting the plant?
Yes, anyone? I've seen people just now raising beds, which is something which is good. Of late, people didn't do it. Anyone who can try to explain it?
Is it that when you raise beds, you put something inside? But some people don't know you put something. So when they say you raise a bed, you put your organic matter.
You can explain.
I think when
It's just like you're sleeping on the floor and you're sleeping on the bed.
Yeah.
Do you get it? What happens when you're sleeping on the floor and when you're just sleeping on the bed? Don't put any blankets, don't put anything. Sleep where it's raised and sleep. Is it making sense to you?
So maybe we're trying to say the
If you raise your bed, it's actually the temperature is actually going to be better because when you raise a bed, what like urban heat climates. I'll give you an example. I usually try to create this. Kuti, you've got your munda ditika to jara miti uku, to jara miti uku, to jara miti, to jara miti. As indikasvika, if I come your farm, I might not see it that you have created an urban heat climate if I'm not sure, if you're not, maybe if you don't actually tend to see it. But what you've just done there is you have protected your plants from frost. You've seen, yes, you've seen it, Andika. But now, this is something that people can actually do. Could for the next year or two, Musawa, I'll give you an example. Musawa chero mutara unomira, but people unomira mutara. Atmospheric temperature is very from agriculture, geography. So you create the and but heat.
It's protecting the soil. I'm saying.
Kutirambe richi?
I'm saying yes. We are saying the generates heat, but the source we are saying the source of the heat is from the sun. Yes, but the soil is being protected by the from the heat.
What? Okay. What happens when the heat goes? It goes through the mulch, confirm, doesn't it? But do we want it to go back?
Does it go through? That's my biggest question.
It does.
For example, washansa mulch mouse. Definitely
It will go down.
A good example is why is it lions would sit in the road and animals sit on the tarred road at night? It's because the heat during the day is trapped in the air and we're trying to protect it from escaping. The same way that the Jersey effect, but not changing the heat.
Yes.
Time you're heavy.
And then we
the soil, not the actual.
no. In terms of anything, you can talk about anything or
Apa mulching goes slower the process. Process yokupinda kwezuva iri slow. Nekuti heat yacho escape iri slow. I don't know if it makes sense.
yeah, the debate will go on forever, you know. But the debate will go on forever. It's good. It's quite a good explanation. Yeah, go on forever.
You're talking about raised debate.
Okay.
You're saying the temperature are different.
But I'll take you back into nature, where trees shed off their leaves.
Natural mulching.
You see,
Oh, so they shed off to produce more.
to protect themselves. That's why I always say some things we are ignorant to it, but this is nature, and this is actually something that we can mimic and something that we can see and every day. These are living organisms. They know what's going to happen now, and they know what to do. Find
The issue where you put in the trees can when you know, was really
like I said, yeah, it's also to do with sugar bricks. If we test a tree, the sugar bricks is so high. So sugar is hygroscopic. So it means the tree is actually able to absorb water vapor from the atmosphere. This is now science. This is an area which gets interesting when I'm talking about Brix. Sugar is hygroscopic. So it means that if sugar is hygroscopic, it means that the plant can actually absorb moisture. There's a lot of moisture now. There's a lot of moisture in the air. The tree is actually able to actually take the moisture
From the air?
from the air.
I thought
Even plants can do that.
I thought it from the roots.
No.
I know. I thought the issue was about absorbing.
Ndazamati this is where it's getting to be. Anditi I've raised my bricks nechibage changu. Vanoti mvura this time yanetsa kudi kuya kwayo. Muri panzwisisa mvura yanetsa. Chenyu chotanga kuoma ichi chiri paside chisati chakudi ushaya kuti zvazonyanya kudi tese zuva ringopisa. It means this maize is actually able to take moisture from the atmosphere. Zvinenge munhu ari kudzipiwa kuti ini muri kundidzipa, you're choking me, but I'm trying to survive, like I'm in a school, I'm trying to survive. Who's actually weak in immune anokurumidzwa kubva angofa. Uyu akutora chinyi achifa. In holistic approach. So the best way frost itself will do its part. People don't actually know that one as well, but to do just one that I don't know, maybe those that liters of water, and then you just it. No, get what I'm trying to say? It's cheap. So it boosts the immune system of the plant quickly. So the defense mechanisms in pest disease just helps the plant.
What's the duty of waste?
So the ideal aspect, you've said it before, is before. It's just actually even actually works very well.
So what's the composition of the aspirin?
Position. It's not much. You take aspirin yourself. You put it in your gut, actually.
I mean, like, is it vitamins?
Yeah, it's got a secret. To be honest, you can actually check with the ingredients in it. Actually, yeah. But what it does, yeah. But I've used it to actually greater effects. I won't lie to that.
Plants.
To the plants, it's actually selenium and aspirin. Good. Selenium is good. That element, that nutrient. That's like the liver now to the plant. Yes. These are things that when people actually sit back and say, look, I'm going to lose my crop, this is it. This is where I come in now. and I charge an arm and a leg with my with these key ingredients. It's there. Yes, it's there. Sorry. We use it, we try by all means to apply it as a foliar fertilizer. Let me try to see. I think is sodium selenate. So it's 50 grams per it's also 50 grams per hectare. Per hectare. Sodium selenate.
I know. On the hectare issue, because it becomes mixed up now. Because if you have chemicals, hectare means 200 liters.
Yeah, so it's 50 grams per 200 liters.
Then going back
On this one, we said 50 grams for 5 liters.
Yeah, with that's aspirin, huh? Yeah, that's aspirin. Sorry. Aspirin pills. It's just sodium selenate. It's powder like. Yes. Sodium selenate. Sodium selenate. Yes. Blight before watorwa ne blight usati warwa ne blight aspirin ya kunyipa
Why did you want to
trade secret as this guy you can even look it up before vanhu vanonzi pari wablight pari kudii chichi and what have you iwo waita zvauri kuita asiti handitika asi ukaisa before aspirin unodza vanhu kuti ndikarwa neblight dog pa 20 saka iyoyo nguva iyoyo you then also realize that if you put it aspirin and everything to that effect it will help you you won't find this item. You won't find. I can actually pause the plant. I always tell people that I can actually pause it like that. That is not going to produce fruits. It's not just going to do anything. I'll pause it, like I'll hibernate it, and then I'll activate it again later. We are not going to talk about that at the moment.
Let's say when you are still
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And you're giving it a chance to fight.
Yes.
When you leave.
Yes.
So can I ask you some?
Yeah.
I thought if it's frozen, there's no activity.
Well, if what's frozen?
If it's put on pause.
Okay.
Is there activity within? Are you able to treat it when there's no activity within?
So it's a bit of both, because what then we'll be trying to actually do is there's a time when we say, well, look, the market might not even be responding. We don't want more tomatoes coming, but we still want we still want it to reach the full potential and what have you. We can say, well, look, we're going to stop just for this month in terms of the fruiting period and everything and what have you, but still on the next month it just be alive. Maintaining, yeah, it's more like you've said the right word. I was looking for that. Maintenance. I like animals a lot, so we look at maintenance ration and production ration when we're looking at animals. So we feed animals a maintenance ration layers, and when they're at that period where they are molting, where they're actually not producing an egg, we actually put them on maintenance ration. Then we wait for those weeks, and then we put them back on production ration. Then they continue dropping an egg. Same applies to plants, but people just don't know how to do it.
How?
I know we are not. It's not part of the agenda. That one. It's not. It's not on the list.
tatakatati aspirin 4.5 liters 50 grams per hectare futi kana kuti
No, it's actually just the malitas either is an namesake or what. But sodium selenate, that's 50 grams, there is 200 liters. Sometimes you need to test your soils very well. You might find kuti dzimwe nguva unenge utori nayo in your soils.
How do you spell sodium selenate? Is it an S or SC?
It's SE. SE, yeah.
SE what?
SELENATE.
Plants need yakura sei kuti tizosaiti at any stage here kuti chiri diki kanti yakura kuti tizoapply.
All right. We'll look at that when we're looking at nutrient management. Yeah, we'll look at that at nutrient management. So, yes.
So checking back.
Which one is mine? This one?
Cow dung.
Okay.
There's a cow dung.
Yes.
I'm not going to get the compost about 80 days.
Mm-hmm.
So can we apply for my plants? Do I apply a cow seed?
That's a very good question, which is even more difficult for Vanwakawanda. In agriculture, we always say a little less is more. But I concept here. A little less is more. It's a phrase which is difficult to understand, but it's well understood. So what we are trying to say, it's always best to apply something less of it than more of it.
Like overdose.
Yes, because a little less is more. It means still, even if you put less, it's going to be utilized. So realize simple ratios I'm going to AN, convert it to now per plant station kana wakushandisa kumanure. But now you need to understand kuti, am I putting them raw or am I putting them ari composted? We say isusu kana ari semi composted paya pekuti semi composted aneka heat kaya tikunomaisa pa plant, but tikutomaisa pa plant yatokura kudhara as a heater kuti tifight chinyi frost. But if you are going to put them now as you are putting kuti tikuisa say a nutrient pazasi pamatranges anditika, which means tikutomaisa atoita 180 days old. Does it make sense? Because tukuza kuti all the pathogens adini tsafa. So there are two ways of doing it. It's mesofolic composting or thermophilic. Mesofolic, you are using the worms, which is low temperatures. Those are the two composts. Thermophilic, you are using high temperatures, putting a black plastic covering it. The heat generated by that nitrogen atom, it heats up to a certain Fahrenheit, the temperatures die. Worms, they eat pathogens. The process we call mesofolic composting. No other creature on earth will actually engulf pathogens like worms.
Is it vermicomposting?
Sorry?
Is it vermicomposting?
That's vermicomposting. That's composting. Those are worms now doing it. So the process, that's mesofolic composting. This is being done on low temperatures. That is why if you put more things that are burning nitrogen, the worms will die because they work on low temperatures. Is it making sense? Yeah. It's okay.
We're still on frost.
Yeah.
We put our plants.
Mm-hmm.
Which parts are most affected by frost? Is it the leaves? Is it the roots? Because I want to talk about the soil. What about the leaves?
Okay. Let's talk. Let's discuss.
I've seen leaves picked back.
Yes, I read that.
So there's a white bin and there's a black bin. You see, leaves got, we call them, forgetting the name, we call them capuchons, where they're like, you won't even see them and what have you. They're like the small, minute holes within them. I've heard people, agronomists, saying foliar fertilizers, they don't work. It's because they don't understand how to chelate them. That's why they say they don't work, but they do work. Where you're actually understanding the negative, positive cation, and so that it can actually infuse through, go inside the leaf. This is an art now of mixing the fertilizers and what have you. So to your question now, the leaves there, I've got there's tomatoes and what have you, right? They are the ones actually more prone to the what? To the frost. Your roots are actually down there as well. If you add more moisture, which is moisture, you need to actually regulate it. If you put more moisture, you create that dampness off and what have you, and diseases will then emerge. Your stem also get frost if you are using black plastic mulch, and the plastic mulch actually gets in touch, or the contact the stem, yes, it transfers. So this is how you might not see it, because to you guys, frost is when maybe ice like and what have you. No, that's not frost. Frost goes inside. There's the freezing point and there's frost. What's dangerous mostly is you can get pneumonia. It's what goes inside and it ruptures the cells. You'll be like, because you got the stem, but you don't know that you don't know that it's gone inside.
So we're probably visualizing the wrong thing.
Yes, because to a farmer, it's that ice on top, the belt and everything. No. You can actually lose your plant without even having ice. This is why I always say frost, this is important. I don't know how I should have, you need to understand this. It's the number of hours that have hit you in terms of the temperatures that's going to actually get inside the plant, metabolic effect of the plant, and it will rupture the cells. You won't see it that the plant cells are actually ruptured. Some farmers have started losing their crops now without, I'm telling you the truth.
Because it's not visual.
Yes, it's a Zeno effect. If you are going to think of frost as seeing that blanket of ice and saying, hey, I got over frost up, I got in and what have you.
99%.
You are done already, you are toast. If I actually walk in, then that you look, farmer, these ones are going to, just like I use refractometer. And another farmer, you know what? As much as you wanted a consultant, the best thing you can do, just approach everything and start afresh. But the crops, the crops are, but talking about sprayer, this and that, but I'm looking like, the Brix is below 4. And it means the crop has failed. The critical point of influence is gone. It's not going to change anything. It's just like you're giving me food and thinking that I'm actually going to increase in size, increase in stature. At this age, I'm done, I'm gone. It's not going to do anything. Is it making sense? So, this is I always talk to him about it, scouting. If you are going to be an expert in scouting, you need to understand this. You don't scout for pests and diseases in a plant, in plants only. You're looking for uniformity of the plants. You're looking in uniformity in terms of size. You're looking in terms of growth, how they are responding. And then you are also testing in terms of the stem, the thickness, and what have you. So you need to actually see it well before that. I had frost test, I had frost, these plants, to work on them, they actually had a bit of frost. It's because it actually goes, it ruptured, the plant is gone. Yes.
Natural.
Yes.
Is there a way to tell when there is frost activity already happening in the plant before zvataifunga kuti kana tachiona ndo because you say right, is there a way to tell that this is before we reach doomsday?
That's a good question. So the first way you're actually going to see it, it's your soils. We don't grow plants, we grow the soil. If you can't interpret the soil, if you can't look at the soil and see kuti chando chaita sei kunevuka, forget farming, it's not for you. You're looking at the wrong things. You're focusing your efforts on the roots, healing the leaves rather than the roots. Let's look at it together. The soil is there. Tumuka makusen, tunona say. Don't you see that dew there on top of the soil? Have you ever seen it? Yes. You see? Then exactly. Sorry? It's a sign. Yes, yes. As saka already unotozviona uku usati waenda kupi, because the soil think that no, look, even the microbes and you, all those things are talking to you. You already know, no guys, this. Tell me, give me the picture yesterday. You always also should where I'm not give need always those are hot spots. You need to mark this. Kutora about trees to take the moisture to kutora mvura through.
Why one of the fields there's a pattern towards the end, like 3 meters, 3-4 meters. It's they're not uniform.
My plants. Also you
can actually
oh
the rows, towards the end, like the last 3 meters.
Okay.
Kuneji, and they are shorter.
Oh, I see.
Smaller.
Oh, I see. So
at the end, Kuneji.
Also you believe nutrients are being, they are actually going to the trees.
You just come up with questions, but there was no answer.
Oh, okay.
But there's a trend.
All right. No, that is very possible. But usually then, if you've done your soil test, what I usually do is people forget the simple concept, the simple rule. Before you plant anything, you've got your land there. analyze the weeds. The weeds. People, mwana akabanasi anorowa wabirei wadini, but you miss the learning part. Why did you steal? Do you know what I'm trying to say? The learning part is why did you steal? What for? So people do this. Clear mundo, I've heard this 20,000. Daima clear mundo papa pisai idini. What have you? But look, when I visit a farm, I don't want to visit a farm when it's cleared. I want to analyze the land when it's got weeds. I see which weeds are thriving there and why are they thriving. And I see which weeds are there, why are they suffering. This is a 5-hectare piece of land. I then mark already there, these are the weeds which were there. Because when you take a soil sample, it's a soil analysis, right? It's called a sample. It's a sample of your piece of land, which is not going to give you a true reflection of what's happening there and what's happening there. Pangotori ne churu munda mako, and obviously pani churu, you're actually going to do more. Your is actually going to be high. Confirm. You see now. So the best way to actually do a survey or analysis is to study the weeds and to analyze the weeds. And that alone will actually tell you these are the hot spots, this is where replanting apa pana kunyasa kubuda zvakanaka apa pana kuda and what have you, but wakangoisa equal fertilizer but you even analyze that's the area where it's actually poor. That's the area that actually said, look guys, this is what we are going to do, this per half a hectare and what have you, I need this more manure, for this area I need this and what have you, for this area I need more of this. You could actually put more, and your trees and your plants, they could have shared everything without even fighting for anything there. You shouldn't have seen it on your crops. You should have seen it on your weeds.
On that.
No, go on. No. Say it. Say it.
Let's say that pattern is now coming up, Matumeka.
Yes, definitely. You definitely see it. Yes.
My person is, we've discussed about crop management of my plants. I told you how can we protect seed? Is that
Okay.
if ever
So,
I'm looking at perhaps a potato seed
all right. It's not always a good thing to plant something which was already frost inodini inochirova, because usually plant a certain crop. We do this. We say in agriculture, we say okay, in I'm a fan of growing a certain crop when it's out of season. That's why you make more money. Like now tomatoes, they're making more money. So it means that, but what about potatoes? This rainy season. So there are many ways to eat, but you just need to bring your A game now, because whatever you're going to do, you need to utilize your market window, so to speak. Because vanhu vakuto harvesta madomasi kuririma kuda kutanga kuti kuririma iko zvino it's dicing with death, but wakuto harvesta kunge uchifighta cost, it's because chinhu chadii chakura. Saka there are many ways to eat. Obviously kune the traditional way yemvura, it even works, traitor zvigubhu. You've seen it being used, right?
That's after every 3, what?
Yes, anditika. Then there's another one futi yekutoti unochicheka chigubhu. Then unoivhara plant. Icho chichakakura kana kudini. Then you're covering the plant. But it's labor now. Muruinzwisisa? Yeah, labor manje. Then obviously unozodini? Unozobvisa. But ipapo unenge wainsulata futi chinyi? Your seedlings. But now manje takutaura kuti ma-seedlings akawanda sei. Muruzibata. But the best way and what have you to also do it is to actually increase your bricks in terms of your soil bricks. Yes. The moment you increase also your soil bricks, it means you've given the seedling or a head start. Because seedling rakanaka chino one, it can acclimatize to what you want. And you are and you see. So you once you fix the soil, you make sure that it's got that good high bricks, and then you also cover your plant and what have you, because mitita ingoita zvazvo we put a stick there topfekedza sagare cement. Then, because seedlings most of the time is to do with your good soil management, good soil, even to use that warm those are a lot of media noshandiswa inenge the warm media kuma seedlings because of the temperatures for the root germination and also to the frost. If you use the wrong media, it won't. She can actually prescribe the best medias. I know of that cocoa peat, yeah. It's actually a good one that they use there. Saka ngozotsvaga a very, very good one. Then obviously you can then add a pinch of that semi the semi decomposition thermophilic composting as well. And then you can actually make it. I would prefer you, if you are doing it, to actually meet a market window opportunity. If that's the case, yes. This is why we are actually training.
Yes.
Because chatoda isusu kuti muri kuzita kuti mite mari. Vamwe vanokusvinura kudai soka imatobuda nenyika. I agree.
If we are to kudyara potato right. Inotisvikisa muna November. Ukanenge paine market yakati.
Now saka which is super.
Roughly how much market price? Yes, and
It fluctuates.
Average.
average.
Which is a lot of money. It's good money. To potatoes, it's actually good money. So I agree with you. I'm with you so much, because it's the same concept. Even kunana, even futi kunezwe zvishi. Unotonzwa kunzi kutangawo April, May, June, July. Ndopa unenge uchiwana chinyi mari. August, the remedial class joins in. They come. The remedial class joins in. Mawanda muchi, because it's not farming. But like we are saying, I would agree. So it means kuti munengo chifangwa kudzoka a bit backwards, so that you know kuti around October you start. Yes, I agree. And there's no Buddha. It's doable. No, it's doable. Makatoisa kudaraka.
No, I said.
Oh, it's no Buddha. But aren't you late then?
No, I started early. But I'll ask Frank.
Oh, which is good. No, which is good.
See, we should say
Which is good. But yeah, it's doable. I think it's doable because you.
How do I protect this seed you have sprouted even under soil?
The trick now is always your soil temperature there.
So that's where the Brix come in.
that is where the Brix comes in. So before you were even planting and what have you, we say it's a sin to leave the soil bare, the soil naked. Kuona ivwiro, it's not allowed. So before you mama dzara paifange pakadini pakakaviwa, where you were actually doing your seedlings and what have you. Murunzisa zvandotaura.
No, we don't do seedlings.
Yes, no, I mean later isn't you going to then transplant kuzenza kumunda. Anosprout, which is still good. Then from there, where do they go? Kumunda nditeka. Exactly. So the idea now is kumunda kwenyu kwakamira sei izvezvi. Wazvonaka? You said it very well. Kumunda ka kwaifangwa kutoti pane munda wemurimi wauda kutakura kuti dai ndauya nawo pano mauona, you know, because Ishmael is so unfortunate that he's not here. He should have been here. We did regenerative with him. Ishmael's a little farmer.
I went there. She went there.
You went there. Did you see his field, how he rode all those things inside? Yes, Mr. Spaz. Did you do it to your farm? That's where the secret is. That's where the secret is. You see, but back na Ishmael, teach her that, because the idea ukafamba mundu so this rubber proof like spongy. You feeling? It's spongy. So it's yes, it's so nice. It's so nice. You enjoy it. Unogona yes, unogona utofamba kana utoti 5 k's usina kurwadziwa uchingonzwa kunakirwa all that. It's all to do with him rolling in the weeds and rolling back all that item. That what? Yes. So what it does then, we always say you balance the nitrogen to carbon ratio. So instead, your soil will sequester more carbon. That's science food. Your soil will sequester more carbon. And the moment your soil sequesters more carbon, it means your soil Brix is going to be also high. Your microorganisms are also going to thrive. Your bacteria is also going to thrive. So you've got a blanket already. Endai pasi pemuti handitika kana musango kana kudini mukanofamba mukatsika munonzwa muchiti ngoita kunge munda make maishmael. Hana chakamixa. What we do with regenerative agriculture is we say this: a weed is important to us. A weed does not do any harm to us. Hatikli munda zvezvokunzi visai zvese chichi. Unoona munhu akatsvaira munda uchiona crop yakadai apa pese uchinyasa kuona kuti ivhu. That's not farming. Kunzi pakachena pana kana maweeds panapa pakachena. That's not farming. That's pedestrian approach to farming. You roll everything back into the soil. Zvese zvinotorwa tozvifusira tichizviviga chinyi muvhu. Then we come, we apply. Should I say this to you guys? It's a trade secret. Anyway, fine.
What can we use to enhance or to speed up the process of decomposition?
Yes, so that's exactly, you said it very well.
What can we
Yes, so what we do now is I mix molasses and nut active, this, or I use percolate sometimes. These are interchangeable. This is what I use. I mix this, percolate, this, the biostimulant. I mix it with this, or sometimes I mix it with this. So molasses, what it does, it feeds the bacteria. Exactly. Bacteria work for me. Exactly, you said it very well. Work harder, faster. So the moment they are working, they are actually doing the excretion in the soil. Is it making sense? They are doing the excretion in the soil. And the moment they are doing the excretion in the soil, their excretion is gluing all the soil particles together. I've got a video kanda kumunda kwa Ishmael zvizvi unoona zvima dung beetles zvazara zvichirova kudai zvakadai. So you enjoy the marvel. You enjoy the marvel. There's almost everything in it. And look, what it does is people just get it all wrong. Tikaisa chikafu izvezvi tikati uyai todanwa nowidha vanodini vanhu vanozara panapa vanoripanzwisisa. What you're simply doing here when you've put all these things, you are calling all the insects, all of them, guys, come, let's eat whilst we work. Simple. They work, they decompose everything. Yes, food for work. They work, everything, you see it. They churn it. And eventually, before you know it, everything is broken down. The soil now sequestrates more carbon. Because when you are farming, you need to understand the carbon to nitrogen ratio. How do you balance the two? Ndosaka tizotora mashizha ane carbon tichisa pai muvhu. Handinopanzwisisa. Ndosaka tizotora icho tichisa futi pai muvhu. Saka the moment you understand that, saka isusu kurigenika hatitourayi weed, tingatori slashira kudai so kungori pusha pasi kana uridini. But inini obviously I use with my Brix. If I know this is the type of weed, I then look also, because weeds come because of imbalance of nutrients. Yes. If you are going to actually have a good balanced nutrition and what have you, which is always sometimes difficult, weeds are not going to come. Then you're going to see that the weed is actually, it even happened kumunda kwake Ishmael, because we're doing it with him and what have you. Where the weeds were there, it didn't actually item, but the pests were on the weeds. The pests were not on his potatoes.
I've noticed that.
Yes. Ndo masamuza andinoita yaya.
You see white flies.
Yes.
You see my white flies, Papa. But my actual tomato, a few centimeters away.
Hapo. So, tichanyasa kudiscuss ayoita kutoenda ku the Brix concept, how it works, the science behind. It's quite interesting. So people believe weeds are just enemies of mass destruction. No. They're just trying to tell you that, look, you're getting it all wrong there. You're getting it all wrong there. But the weeds and what have you roll them over, you roll them in and what have you, they decompose inside the soil and everything. It will be good.
Bro, there's seeds reproduction.
Sorry, I need just to answer this. Hello? Yes. All right, let me give you. Oh, it's fine. Sorry, just a 1 minute break. I just need to give someone these things, please. Just a minute. Good agronomist, a good consultant, and anyone who's actually going to make it. Take one, pass it down the line. Take one. Yes, yeah, you need to unlearn so that you can relearn. Take one as well here. Pass it down. Sorry? All right, no, that's good. That's good. Now, welcome to plant nutrition. Right. You've got, this is your license. I've given you the license. If you are going to fail, it's now up to you to fail. But I've given you the exam, I've given you the answer. It's right within you. If you can make 1,000 copies of that, keep another one under your bed, please do. Keep another one with your agronomist, so be it. Keep another one with whoever. That's the license. 9 out of 10 people ask me questions. My plant is showing signs of yellowness and what have you and everything. That's the trick. Have you ever seen this room? Never. And yourself? Okay, yeah, stay. Just pass it on. This is called Mulder's chart. Mulder's chart. This
How do you spell it?
Mulders. This is Mulder's chart. And I did it in color so that you can actually see whatever you are doing. Antagonistic, synergistic is what we'll be learning about. Nutrient antagonism, which nutrients affect others. Look, here there is plant nutrition and there is soil nutrition. You need to master both. Plant nutrition and soil nutrition. So obviously, like I said, we grow the what? The soil. So you start, obviously you need to start to master soil nutrition. So soil nutrition is obviously, you obviously put a lot of things. We are drenching, we are putting this, we are putting AN and what have you. Like I said, I don't know what you guys use in terms of your chemicals or synthetics. We've put this, we've put B, I don't know. But well, whatever you do, this is it. Now I want to explain antagonistic elements and synergistic. Antagonistic, it's antagonism, meaning this is these are elements that actually do not go hand in hand. They fight. Synergistic, they actually work synergy together. But this is where we fail in terms of nutrition now. If you apply, I always say this, like nitrogen and potassium. If farmers knew it very well that you can apply a little less of nitrogen and more of potassium, they will save billions of money. Because you're going still to get the same results.
You said more potassium, less nitrogen.
Yes.
Nitrogen requires more energy to make. It's more difficult.
Yes.
Last statement, they would less is much.
Yes, a little less is actually more of something. So, but people don't really understand that concept now. Macro elements are synergistic. Micro are antagonistic. Meaning the NPKs usually, they work in synergy, confirm. So that's why I'm saying if only farmers understand that a little less of nitrogen and more of the potassium will still give you the same yield. Whenever we are learning, let's look where the money is at the end of the day. How many, what's the most abundant gas in the atmosphere?
Nitrogen.
It's nitrogen, huh? The only thing you need to do is to take it and the rest. What's the secret ingredient to take nitrogen from the atmosphere?
Nitrogen fixing bacteria.
Sorry?
Bacteria.
No.
Phosphorus.
No. Molybdenum and cobalt. You see? I have replicated myself and cobalt. So yes. But the funny part now, which is interesting, in Zimbabwe, you do all the soil tests, they don't test for all that. Because they still want you to be a beggar, to buy nitrogen, to buy something which is for free. Why was Zimbabwe a once breadbasket of Africa? It's so simple. Now people are actually using more fertilizer than before. It's because they used to put cobalt. It was a compulsory thing. These fields, cobalt was actually sprayed because cobalt will actually then simulate and actually take the nitrogen which is needed by the sorry? We put it in the soil. So this is now soil nutrition. You've gone for your soil analysis. They've tested the NPKs, they've tested the trace. I've gone everywhere in Zimbabwe, I won't lie to you. I've even questioned them. Why are you not testing these things? We used to do that long back. We used to test molybdenum, we used to test cobalt, and now you have to take your soil test maybe to South Africa, far away and what have you, to actually understand if you've got molybdenum, if you even have the selenium that I was actually talking about. If you don't have it, you then put it in those quantities. Because when we are looking at soil nutrition, we are looking at the whole elements in a holistic approach. Synergistic and agonistic, and then you need to understand. So at the end of the day, we are trying to say, well, if you've got the molybdenum and if you've got the cobalt, then you're actually going to do very well. I'll give you a simple example. You then come, you take a product. I've seen, you read the active ingredients. Here there is boron, iron, amino acids, manganese, molybdenum, zinc, amino acids, fulvic acid. This one, yeah. You can just pass it on, just read there. 9 out of 10 of you, I know you don't, you just look, Hansi, what's the NPK ratio? That's rubbish. That's pedestrian approach to farming. What's that? You hear someone saying, what's the N, what's the P, what's the K? Huh? Saka N yacho kamera saka P, but what are we doing?
Maybe issue report
I've seen a lot of other products. Humuson product, it's got that component of that molybdenum. See, I don't know if it's amine or it's carbamine. Is it carbamine? Yes, but I have hardly come across a product with cobalt. But I won't lie to you. This is it. You've got your car, and if someone just comes, they remove that fuse. I do not start. Very good, everything and what have you. They just remove that fuse. You can do everything. But someone will just say, look, let's just check the fuse for this and this. It was a simple fuse, but the car failed to go where it's supposed to go. These are the simple things. If you are not going to actually infuse these things in the product, in your soil nutrition, you are not going to make it. There's mycorrhiza, there's trichoderma, and what have you. Those are all good, the bacteria and what have you. But we need something which is going just to take the nitrogen. And why are we saying this?
So this one takes the nitrogen from
Molybdenum, cobalt. If you're going to buy any fertilizer and what have you, and you're going to be using all the fertilizers and what have you, you want to cut your costs, your N. You need then to use.
Don't talk.
You need to use your molybdenum. You see now, or then you are going to say, or you're going to use your cobalt.
Is there any source for cobalt?
It's not the most expensive mineral, eh?
Sorry?
Cobalt in the way about the DRS, yeah?
I think so. Yeah. But this is now farming. This is now the real farming now. So when you are then looking at this, which is quite interesting, just look at the nutrient antagonism there where I gave you N. Just go this paper, yeah? Look at the N. Excess of nitrogen causes the ratios to shift, making calcium and potassium unavailable. This is interesting now. You know what I simply do? This is this is where it gets interesting. Munhu plant yake inotanga kuratidza masigns calcium deficiency. Calcium nitrate, tenga chakati, and what have you. I just laugh. I can't fight it. Because a little less of more is good in agriculture. People put excess nitrogen. And once you have put the excess nitrogen, calcium, plant the deficiency. Then you are going to the shop and you say, picture, lack of G, because they don't know. Calcium nitrate, they come, put more. Same process. The vicious cycle goes on. High school responder. Believe you me, believe you me, what I know this guy, I wish I can replicate it to someone else. Because then this is simple. They don't know this. People say, buy chinyi, ngatitenge calcium nitrate, spray, ngatidini, and what have you. But you just need to understand that it has shifted. It's gone and it's closed. So it means you're going to have the deficiency of calcium because of the excess. That's why we say a little more of this is actually better than that. How does it work? Let me explain to you. This will actually nutrition, we're doing it with Brix concept. Nitrogen is your sadza. You are going for an exam, and it starts at 2. You've had your sadza, your lunch. Do you know what sadza does to you?
Drains your energy.
Rokozira. And makamboti an exam rakunopera so utanga kuna kuti maanza akuya number 4 into iziva iyi zvakunzi 30 minutes left. The handwriting changes. You're more like a supersonic. You're rushing because things are now coming. Do you know what would have happened there? Sadza rapedza ku digester. It uses a whole lot of energy for digestion. So when the sadza is fighting the contractions and what have you, everything, it's fighting your body. And you can't even take it. That's why you start saying, bless me, bless me. You're drowsing. That's what you're doing to the plant with nitrogen. So nitrogen uses 30% of the energy of the plant. Inenge yagadzira yashanda nezuva yabuilda energy yayo iwo voti nitrogen cho iyo to right rekandizame kudigesta. The energy is the sugar levels, which will be very, very high, and then eventually you put in the nitrogen, and then the sugar levels energy that is stored, it actually goes down because the plant is now trying to digest the excess nitrogen that you've even given it. And once the sugar levels actually go down, do you know what's going to happen? Sugar is low, it means the Brix level is low. Pests are actually going to, I always receive watermelons, written sugar Brix content 7, sugar Brix cucumber. People are being scammed today, that's what I always say. How do I know that the tomato, it means will come in, 6 to 8 aphids will drop off, 8 to 10 sap sucking, and then 10 to 12 chewing insects, the grasshoppers. I've got photos. I think I'll look for them and I'll share. I grew tomatoes and I introduced even the grasshoppers has to stay. Believe you me. Yes. Look, the secret behind is simple. Pests, we call them garbage collectors, madoda bin. Pests are there to protect my gut, what I eat. So instead of you, if you fail your crop, the pests are going to come. because the plant works on a frequency where it's going bzzz, my hydrogen is low, my iron is low, and what have you. This is why they say healthy plants are not affected. But disease, actually, plants with poor nutrition and what have you, they're going to be affected. The Brix, if it's low, the pests got an antenna, they actually fly in, they actually come, because it's reading, it's always reading like a radio frequency. That is why you see, why is it so concentrated? Aphids, why are they so concentrated here? Why are they not there in your field? It's because of those orphan plants, the Brix is actually low. So they are going to come, they are going to feed there. But if the Brix is actually high, they can't, because they don't have a pancreas to digest the sugars in that plant. So instead, if your Brix is actually high, you are just fighting a whole lot of pests, diseases, frost. But then your Brix will then fluctuate because of different things, like your watering regime. How you are watering is important. You need to have a balanced watering regime where your water is actually going to be good. 1. 2, your Brix is going to be affected because of you don't understand plant nutrition. You are adding a whole lot of nitrogen to it. You are adding a whole lot of nitrates to it. And the nitrates are going to block calcium. Calcium is one thing which actually is the sun. It's the sun. It all boils down, the sun is the missing energy in the system. Why do you think China is in the process of inventing the sun? They're actually living close by. They're not worried about the water. They're worried about the sun. Because if you want to grow anything, it's the sun. Tomatoes, the sunshine worshiper, is the sun. Does it resonate? Are you getting me? So here's the thing now. It's overcast for 2-3 days. Farmers are happy. Kurukushandika. Kwakakwidibira iko zino. Let's do our weeding. Let's do our what? Should be worried. 3 days it's overcast. I've never heard a farmer say, "That is what I'm Buddha." Do you get what I'm trying to say? They are actually happy. It's overcast, kurukushandika and what have you, but you should be worried. This is where you need to bring in your A game. You need to put the plant on the charger. What's your second sun? The tomato wants the sun. 3 days there's no sun. Remember, everything needs the sun. What's your second sun? Fulvic acid and humic acid. I've been preaching about this for donkey years now. You don't go into these all commercial farms and you don't see any program which doesn't have the humic and the fulvic acid. This is now where I use the nut active. Nut active, why I just use it? It's simply humic and fulvic. No other things like calcium, iron, what have you. It's simply humic and fulvic acid in those percentages.
That's what?
Sorry?
No, that's the product.
Nut active. It's simply humic and fulvic acid. Nothing, no other things. It's simply saying, look guys, this is what we need to do. We need to put all these plants on the charger. That's your second sun. Does it resonate? If you are ever going to be good in farming, in doing anything to do with farming, because of climate change, you need to use your fertilizers. I don't know, any fertilizers, whatever, that's going to work for you. But whatever you do, you need to make sure that you put through the humic and the fulvic acid. If you do not have the humic and the fulvic acid, your mulch is going to be it's going to break down to be your humic and your fulvic acid. Your mulch is going to trap the heat, which is also going to act as your charger to the plant. Do you understand the science now behind it? So instead of saying 3-4 days, because if I test a plant 1 day, 2, 3, it's overcast, it's actually going to have more Brix it's actually, the Brix is actually going to go down because it's overcast, there's no sun. So the plant is not photosynthesizing. Photosynthesis is actually the energy that is actually giving the plant the energy. It's like the heartbeat there. So the moment then it doesn't have that, the mulch is actually going to trap the heat. When it's overcast, that heat is actually going to be transferred back to the plant. And the plant is still going to do the same, it's still going to use that same energy to convert it into chemical energy. Because boron is the one which is responsible for the movement of all the nutrients up and down. So if I check the Brix in the morning, if it's low, and then I check in the afternoon again, and it's still low, then I know it's a lack of boron.
Did you check what?
My sugar Brix. In the morning, it's the same. In the afternoon, it's the same. It's a lack of boron because it's the one which is responsible for the movement of the nutrients. This is now science. Trust me, this is now science. It's something you master eventually over time. But I just want you to actually get the Brix concept, how it works. How it works. Do you want a break? Okay, we can take a break.
I saw another product. I've never seen it before.
Okay.
I saw it in Zambia, Calci B.
Okay. Calci B.
But they say in the calcium and boron.
Okay. Which is good. It's good.
What's the more organic one?
It's good. You just go there, you say excess calcium. If you put excess of your calcium, what happens? It reduces availability to nitrogen, magnesium, boron, and phosphorus. So if you put your calcium, you need to put it in the right nutrient amount and everything. But here's the catch now. I'll give you an example. I call it the forgotten ingredient, water. People actually use water every day in their farming. So what people do then is he buys more. Thank you. Huh? If you want to grow plants very, very well. Because some nutrients are actually there in your water, because already all the nutrients, we mine them in the soil and what have you, it comes down with your water. And you actually don't know what's there in your water.
Water with chlorine does it?
It's there. We can go for lunch.
I purified water and chlorine.
We can go for lunch.
But if you're going to speak to excess,
So you and then it. Then you can't farm without that. You need. Damara will take 6 weeks, but they're actually quite good. They will take 6 weeks, but trust me, soil test is like your license to farming. It's like you understand. Sorry? I don't want to mention names, but I've just given where you can actually do it. Where on earth do you see soil test notes? $20, $30, and what have you? It's too cheap for that. We can go for lunch, as we discussed. The plant is supposed to respond. Foliar. Yes, 2 hours. I am supposed to actually see the Brix actually shifting, because the thumb rule is actually every week you have to gain a Brix. If things are going west, we want them to go the right way. We are saying let's put maybe fulvic calcium. Our Brix maybe was on 7, so we are saying next week our Brix is supposed to be on 8. Next week our Brix is supposed to be on 9. So if you cheat the process, you then add more nitrogen, the Brix is actually going to plummet, going downwards, because nitrogen is going to use, the plant is going to use a whole lot of what? Energy, trying to actually digest that thing and everything. If then it's overcast and what have you, the Brix is also going to go down. And if it's overcast and you don't put the humic acid, your fulvic acid, your mulch, your second sun, it means you're not going to maintain your Brix. It's going to also go down.
Is it why we're also affected with the blight when it's overcast?
Yes, definitely. Definitely. Because at the end of the day,
The immune system
the immune system is actually vulnerable. The immune system is actually weak. So the plant is always attacked when the immune system is actually down. So when the Brix of the plant is very low, pests are actually going to come, diseases are actually going to come as well. So the whole idea then is, that's why we say actually pests, they're there just to clean up the plant, because it's no longer fit for human consumption. That's what I say. You want to actually put all the chemicals, the lambdas and what have you, the amphids and what have you. The whole idea is, if we throw in a tear gas right now, what will happen? I'll go hide in a car, you go hide in a room, someone goes that. After 3-4 days, we all coming back. It's now clear, it's now good, it's now okay. That is what's happening with all these chemicals to fight pests and to fight diseases. Are we correcting it? Or we're just actually inserting a tear gas there? It's a temporary measure. Otherwise, there's no such thing. I've heard people actually say, hey, this one will kill, this one will hit tutor, this one will do this and what have you, in terms of pests and diseases. There's no such thing like that. It will just try, you're simply trying to contain. But if human beings actually go to war with pests, pests will win.
So, the moment you keep your Brix level
high, you don't need it by long shot.
So the secret go maintaining.
Yes, the people are being sold a dream in farming that you need lambda, you need this, you need that, you need this. This is why I say the difficult thing and what have you and everything is actually agriculture, because it's a science. But people are actually going there in a pedestrian approach, thinking, well, come on, and what have you. Trust me, something you can't see. It's a xeno effect. You can't see with the naked eye, and you think you can do it. There's no such thing like that.
So that's why anxiety yangu in Zimbabwe. Is there anyone on a Brix level if I top a pyramid there we are schooling ask any of those pesticides?
Yes, this man.
Yeah, with this man we did it. With this man we did it very well.
No.
It's so unfortunate he was supposed to be here. Yeah? But with Ishmael we did it. He even tagged me on Twitter and everything, and he posted the pictures. I got, guys, Brix is real. I remember his tweet. I got, guys, if you don't believe it, it's fine. Chemical companies even went down to him and what have you. Why are you no longer ordering? And he said, but look, I'm telling you, they went on the ground and it reversed. Then they came to me looking for me, because he would order a whole lot of these chemicals growing his potatoes and what have you. And he even posted and he said, guys, look, there are the pests, there's my plant. And there were pests by the weeds there, and his potato crop was doing well. Because then we said the Brix level of the weed is low, and the Brix level of that of the tomatoes is high. They can't actually go in and eat that. It's nature based. Because God created it in this way. You are not going to eat something which is not fit for human consumption. It's like you are eating paper. Mnaruka cabbage rage chari pukutwa radyiwa radididi. Mwari ari kuti go pest go, achifanga kutsva kumbara, achifanga kunodyiwa nemunhu ichi. So the pests are garbage collectors. They're going to come. They're supposed to clean that plant or that crop before it gets to the humans. But the human arguita naro ngati spray ngati zvinoita hazviti. I believe you me, you will not win that war. How much amount of money are you then putting in? And how much amount of money would you put if you just put less of more in balancing your plant nutrition, balancing your soil nutrition, and understanding how to actually build the Brix level to a certain item, Because what farmers then don't know is the days you are going to lose the Brix, it's going to be overcast. This is where they don't know now. It's 3-4 days, it's overcast. It's like in winter now. Actually the sunny days will be less. Your Brix level is going to go down. But if you know how to put the plant on the charger, you're going to maintain your what? Your Brix level. And the moment your Brix level is actually down, pests will actually, because we say the plant is like on a radio frequency, bzz, bzz, it's actually sending the signal. And it's actually saying, no, I'm weak, I'm weak, I'm dying, I'm dying. The pests are saying, we come, we collect. Yeah. So you need to actually anticipate before it's overcast.
So that you can
Go out. There are no clouds, confirm. You can actually see that for the next 4 or 5 days, if you just look, we do it weekly, look at the weather forecast, you can actually see. That's why, people don't know, that thing is important, the weather forecast. Trust me, they talk to you, partly cloudy, mild cloudy, and people are ignorant. Do you think they just give that information? They are talking to the farmer. It's going to be partly cloudy. It's going to be overcast. It's going to be like this. So you already know that if the crop is got actually 90 days towards maturity, they mean ceteris paribus, taking all things constant, that you're going to have your lighting hours, you're going to have everything. This crop is going to mature and it's actually going to yield, and this is the harvest. But you can actually realize someone who actually realized the harvest maybe actually after 110 days old. Because these other days, he or she didn't have the sun. So you are going to miss it. Your crop, you're actually even going to even harvest a bit earlier because you're actually having your second son all these periods that you're actually going to suffer. It's just like someone saying, oh no, you're going to be hungry and everything. Activate, give you a drip or something of that sort. The missing energy in the system is not water, it's the sun. The moment you master the growing of everything, that you need the sun, you make it in farming. The moment you master the art that how can I actually put the energy, because the energy is the one which is responsible for the movement of all these things, boron, calcium and what have you, for transporting and what have you to be actually moving. Your mobile and your immobile nutrients, it's all to do with chemical energy, which actually the heat energy converted into the chemical energy. So Brix then becomes a key pivotal role if you want to eliminate pests. So what would then happen is the pest would actually be eating there. The farmer is actually suffering from tuta. The other one is not suffering from tuta. Tuta won't even go there. I'm telling you the honest truth. People say, tuta irova hapo. But then at the end of the day, once you master it and once you understand it, I'm not saying here and there you won't use your what have you, perfectionism. Well, it's difficult actually to attain. But I'm saying if you cross your T's and you dot your I's very well, you can actually manage a crop with less money and actually produce more. Because in agriculture, you're not paid for producing, you know that. You're paid for taking a risk. Things change overnight. The climate just changes overnight. And if you can't actually anticipate that there's actually going to be a cold air, and I'm telling you from today onwards, you know weather forecast here. I know some places you'll be talking that guy nonsense. Cold air rises from the westerly item and whatever. People like cold air will rise and but you've ever seen and chief in when I was younger, don't you just go on church? They don't break out weather forecast. Yeah. I know about 15 minutes, baby. It's usually 15 minutes. Am I lying? But I know good cold air will rise from the western and what have you. These central parts of Zimbabwe will be affected and Chichi. Everything will be dotted. It will be given to you. But you decide to turn a blind eye. It's up to you. saka at the end of the day kuti uzodza munhu kuti chichi anongofunga kuti no, it's all to do with nutrition and what have you, but then when you're then looking at Brix level and what have you, it's all to do with your nutrition, your water, mvura yakakosha kuti uri kumanage sei mvura yako. Also your calcium is always important because calcium, potassium zvinobatsira futi kureza chinyi your Brix levels as well. Saka the moment then even your carbon you putting back like the regenerative and what have you, once you've then mastered that, you can use less chemicals or fewer or no chemicals when you're actually going to fight all these things. Saka, when then you grow anything, you should then understand kuti, like I said, Brix would then help you in terms of shelf life because the taste on its own yechinhu chawagadzira chakunaka. 2, shelf life is actually also increased because of the good Brix as well. 3, water that you're actually going to use is going to be less because sugar is hygroscopic. It means the plant can actually take saka uchaseva futi chinyi all the bills there and uchaigona kuisa chinhu chako chigogara. And I've seen my tomatoes chaicho kuti unoritora kudai so riri green mangwana robva raita semi mangwana red 4th day chakutotanga kudisintegrate. Do you get what I'm trying to say? This is a tomato rotonototenga akatonaka and everything ari last 4-5 days rinongochinja kudai so richienda. Pane akasendwa pagroup I think nepamafacebook akazara emurima ngakangokandwa kumbare and what have you, so they circulated for some time. Hey, market yazodai zvazodai. It's just poor nutrition there. It's just poor nutrition because if you are going to grow something and it's going to last longer on the shelf life, someone is going to buy it. But if you are going to grow something and you are 4-5 days chakushataka, then it's poor nutrition. And varimi kuna namrewa munonzi mrewa chichi vanenge vachiti ane 10 years 20 years chiri madomasi chidini chidi nharo dzavanadzo vanhu vayaka but chozigamwa chacho haudzigoni dane 20 years dane chinyi ndichirova domasi but at what cost? Haana kana chinhu chachinja mulife make, still the same poor small scale farmer. This is the mentality. I hardly join group retakanzi small scale because your mindset is already, it's got a canopy, it's covered kungonzi small scale. Don't mean you shuwa imomo. You go in to these 2 days and what have you, that's when you see kuti no. Yeah, tunongoramba tiri muka small scale ikako. So the mindset, there should be a paradigm shift also on the mindset. You should actually also say, look, I'm going to change things. Because I've seen this, people growing, but nothing is moving. Asi ukangonomutaurira kuti ukangonomubvunza kana kuti izvi kana ungonomubvunza hazve Brix don't even start haangazivi hanenazvo anongokudza kuti ndozoisa chakati ndonotenga chakati yakudhura. Trust me, inini I always have something. Farming is the most lucrative business in Zimbabwe. It's just you don't know how to do it. Ndo chinhu chine mari zvekuzonzi anzi fertilizer yakudhura mainputs akudhura kudini ka. It's all a lie. Why it's my inputs inputs akudhura kudini and what have you, it's just that you don't know how to actually master this.
Sorry, what
Manganese, it's
a source or
sorry, you said
manganese.
yes, manganese is always there. And then there's a green, it's antagonistic with these ions and what have you, but it's actually, you see, manganese, it's actually stimulation ne potassium. So it means kuti zvinofambidzana. Manganese iriko inowanika ma item. Ndaona kuti this training, I just didn't want to talk things you know or to talk things that you can actually find out kuti basa re nitrogen nderei, basa re potassium nderei, basa re manganese nderei, it's something you can actually look up. We had limited time. The only thing I could do is to give you information that you can't actually research and you can't actually go and actually drag into your farms. Saka, but you then know kuti ichi chinoshande ichi chinodini. But these are the whole critical things, and this is how Brix issue works when it comes to this gadget. It's an important guide in okubatsira whether you're going west or whether you're going south. I usually do to drive iripa autopilot, but it's a guide where you can actually see what you know. I think tripa 8, I think I need to do this and I think I need to do that. Not kuti it can be perfect, so to speak. No, it won't be perfect, but it's a guide. It's like your compass. Saka chinenge chakukudini chakukuguide and what have you. And Ishmael akabva atoita chake patakataura nyaya yacho. He had his own refractometer also. He then started taking his own readings as well, and then he started to see changes actually in the field, because people are actually even saying he's a commercial farmer. You can actually do it on a small piece of land, small scale, blah blah blah. But this is something which is doable on a commercial basis. I don't know if there are any questions to that. I heard I was selling ratio, but akatopera because I had a training in my DRC. Those people are quick to pounce on things, but I will talk to Rachel. Then she's, I think some are actually coming. I just bought mine also out of the country. So Shingoro one, but Rachel is actually now doing the business of it, and the champions are actually ne mamwere. It was between 100 and 150 depending on the refractometer. But I've had mine for now 2 years. It's a very good thing to have, and it will just guide you in terms of everything. So when it comes to pests and diseases, the other thing that you need to also master, which is important when you're doing your scouting, I think you know this, where you go in Nema newspaper leaves and you actually take in the pest that you see. But eventually, one thing also that I need to discuss a bit, permanent scouting, please, you do not only scout for pests and for diseases. You're scouting for uniformity, size of the plant, leaf size of the plant. Those are all the critical things that you're actually looking at. Then once you've done that, then you know kuti is actually going to be, it's going to be your indicator. Unototanga uziona kuti my leaves ayakasiyana. What's the reason behind? And wayward. It's just like us humans. If you pay attention to yourself, this moment banana. It's your body talking to you, lacking of what? Potassium. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Just look up. It's vitamin C. Your body, people get it all wrong there. It's the same with plants. So the moment you quickly see it, feel it, and what have you, you already know this is what I need to actually give to my plant. Yeah, thank you for your time. If you've got any questions, yes, you can actually bring in the questions, because yeah, we can go on and on. Yes.
One, measuring sugar bricks. Yeah, if there is not the calcium.
I wanted us to try to do it outside.
Then the potassium.
Yeah, I wanted us to try to do it outside, not knowing there is enough moisture with these just succulent plants around. But I just wanted to try to do 5 minutes outside, so that everyone can just have a feel of it and master it. Agriculture is a science, people. People underestimate the whole exercise. But look, yes.
Ndakaona this other commercial farmer ari kulima mapotato. Anoti iye ashandise ammonium nitrate.
Okay.
Yes. Anongoshandisa calcium nitrate ne potassium nitrate.
Any urea.
urea ashandise chizvese anoshandisa calcium nitrate
Potassium. But you heard what I said about potassium, huh?
Yes.
Less of nitrogen, more of chinyi is equals to the same chinyi result. Saka, which means the nitrogen yake ka aritongoitora aritongoidrawa from the atmosphere.
Alright. Then the second question would be pane nitrogen AN and in a side effect kuma horticultural crops. Because ndona futhi pane ma fertilizer programs ema tomatoes. Unoona kuti amount of nitrogen yacho ingori shoma then inongoiswa kuma preliminary stages zvazvatopera.
Yes, in that effect.
Okay.
Yes, because those are nitrates, and the nitrates actually bring in aphids. The moment you apply AN and what have you, you also see that it will attract the aphids and well, because your Brix is actually even going to go down. Okay. So ammonium nitrate and all these nitrogen elements and what have you, zvitorine effect when it comes to the item, unless urkuzauti if you put this before your critical point of influence, then kumberuko auchadini auchadili nema nitrates akawanda. It's just like even zviya zvimishonga zvinoiswa zvakawanda, people just think kuti you are killing the tutors and what have you, but what's happening to your soil? You are killing all the bacteria, you are killing all the microbes. It's just like saying someone, no, I've used chili and what have you. You are changing your soil pH. Because they are spraying in the soil. No one thinks about all that. Those conditions, land is not how big the land is. It's the value of the land. It's because of how much the soil, how much of the soil, in terms of how much carbon is actually sequestered by that soil. No value land. Munane 1 hectare will be actually better off than munane 10 hectares of dead soil. Just like muno ane I don't know. Is it making sense? Huh? Saka ndo pani tricky papo. Saka whatever you're applying, always think what's going to happen to the microbes. And the last one, this one is important. Plant iri panapa nditika. During the day, the plant is making energy. Energy is coming through, right? Through photosynthesis. Then what's going to happen is this. Underneath, there are microbes. Anditika. So at night, the plant actually transfers or actually go and hand over to the plant. It's a symbiotic relationship where they exchange. But here's the key thing. It does not have the food for the microbes. What will happen? The microbes will turn against and the microbes will now start to mine, to try to eat which now comes to the point where I say nematodes can be actually created to be safarides, where they're actually decomposers, where they're actually on your side, on your team. It's just you to understand how to feed the nematodes. It's just like us kungoti ngatiko distributor chikafu ichi munhu wese adini akwane murumu munomu. Chikafu tikatanga kushota unoona mwauti handiri kuzviona undisira zvishoma, handiri kuzviona but handiri kuona but apa uri sei iwewe vanhu vakutodii, the fight comes, you see. But if the food distribution is equal, everyone is happy, everyone is benefiting, then everyone is doing their job. I thank you. And I'm done for the day, and I wish you all the best in your I wish you all the best in your endeavors. If there are any questions, please. The endeavors. If there are any questions, please. They won't come now. Brains and what discuss. It's always to discuss, to debate, and what have you. Yes.
So that group is soon.
Definitely, I will create it tonight in the evening and what have you. I will also be sharing other videos of other things that are actually being done. Agriculture, I always say, it's always evolving. It's always changing. It's you come today, you please, good people. The second son. It's always what I just bring in when things are actually waste. But at times you just need to use fulvic acid, humic acid, and then you won't. And they can also then you have to do it the hard way. The mulch. And the mulch, mulching, I won't lie to you, is the hardest technique. People think mulch kungotora uswa wodini wotsokera kudai. Ukaresha the layer as well, ucha create imwe heat iri too much ipapo. And ucha create imwe heat yekuti ma microbes achatanga kutofa kana bacteria. I'm telling you, mulching tikatotanga topic izvezvi yekuti tinomaucha seka atokunotovirirwa tiri muno. But ndozvinhu zvandakaona agriculture, people just take things lightly ngoti iwe tora chinyi mauswa unyasa uspread unyasa dai and what, but it's just like pruning. Zvinhu zvakaoma zvezvo. Pruning, I prefer pruning. I don't know if you know it, but people actually no, muziri, it's English, the pruning method, but pruning chaichayoka chinhu chakatooma. Ndosikamwa chizoti aprunaka vatorowa neblight plant ikapaipai. Do you know that? But anyway, let's do it. Let's do it. What? No, not if.
Now we are moving.
I yeah, I think it reflects the garlic chayaki. Yeah. Matombo chi iri kubudisa here ichakaoma ichi pandamboona panga pachi
atikabva pamarobhosi
but you can see what I was this is where you get it all wrong here. Hakuna is, you can see the soil. You wake up early in the morning, you want to see what's going to happen. This is called soil desiccation. This is called soil desiccation. Can you see these cracks here? Mbona sadza rinenge rasirwa baba raiswa mudheka rovharwa zvarinozita time rotsemukira.
What causes that?
This is lack of it's expansion and contraction. So because ratsva nditopinda and inyaya yekuti pari papa saka you'd find kuti if this was actually, if it wasn't bare and it was also covered and everything, then things were just going to be very well with these succulents. You can see they'll be struggling now. Yes, this whole area should be mulched. You can see, don't know what's been eating that and what have you. And what's happening now is panodiridza manje, you're taking all the diseases from there. Look at it, they're all coming there. The pathogens from where? Huh? Sorry? No, it mustn't. Kana day one. Yeah, there's nothing. No, there's nothing. Huh? There's nothing. And so unfortunate, there's nothing here. Izvi ndo zvekuti unotozviwana kuma farms akatowanda even izvozvo tunotodai wotozama kudai wotoona kuti ende munhu anenge achi drip inenge itoripo ichitofunga sonzi iri kudiridza, but then at the end of the day haina chairi kudiridza, but munhu anenge achitofunga kuti no, and what vamwe vakatozozviona ndangosvika kudai zvikazonzi yakabloka kwairi kubva nayo and what have you, ndikati you needed me to come and to check something, check on your own there. But here we won't win the war here. It's the unfortunate part, and this will not. Wow, now there's something. That's better. Thank you. It's even enough. So there mustn't be air bubbles. Close it. You see how it's actually yanyasa kunolevu la yanyasa kuenda zvakanaka ndika like that. So it's blue. Munona pano pane pakanoita it changes the color. Now it's blue. Everything is blue, and it.
Around 5.
You see now. Yeah. Tikazo damage. Do you still have some more juice?
No, let me just check.
Unotoona paya kagumira kala imwe ibva yachinja. Unotoona paya kagumira kala